I really hope I'm hammering that home, how bad that is. Shows how just nothing you know about comedy. There's not a chance you're using that as a legitimate reason. I can't believe I have to say that. Like, you can't do that. Testing 1 2, check. Testing 1 2, testing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with another video. The internet hates Brendan Schaub.
Brendan Schaub is arguably the most hated man in all of comedy.
Brendan also holds a record previously held by himself for the worst reviewed stand-up special of all time.
Is it really that bad, or am I just another hater?
The problem is more pronounced with Schaub because he is really bad at everything he attempts.
Brendan Schaub is crying somewhere.
This is the most hated comedian in the industry.
Unrelated side note, but like, what a crazy thing to say, right? Like Carlos Mencia, Dane Cook, Amy Schumer, Bill fucking Cosby are all former or currently working stand-up comics. And to say Brendan Schaub is the one that tops them? Brendan Schaub, notorious mediocre comedian Brendan Schaub. He's worse than Bill Cosby. Sure. 100%. To get this out of the way, I don't particularly like him as well. I don't think he's a very good comedian. I think there's reasons for that I'm going to get into. But yeah, no, I don't hate him though, but I definitely don't think he's like a comedy genius or even close to that. So here's the thing. I found a guy named nickisnotgreen, I think is his name. Nickisnotgreen. Yes. So Nick made a video called "Seeing Brendan Schaub Live Was a Mistake."
The following night, Brendan would be performing among several other stand-up comics at the Improv. We immediately snagged our tickets and we met up at 8 p.m. the following night for the show.
Nick went to Brendan Schaub's comedy show at the Improv, the LA Improv, a famous spot where comedians work out material. And Nickisnotgreen recorded Brendan Schaub's set in its entirety, posted it to YouTube to his 600,000 subscriber channel, and then went through every joke word for word. I can't help you if you don't understand why that's so horrible. Internet people, think of it this way. Imagine going to somebody's Patreon and just downloading their shit and re-uploading it to YouTube. Is that okay? Did you answer no? Well, then we're on the same page. This whole video is just Nick talking as much shit as possible on like stand-up and stand-ups that he saw.
His name was Harland Williams, just like this old white dude who seemed confused on what comedy was. A myriad of like middle-of-the-line comedians who I wouldn't really recommend if you were going to see a night of laughs.
Like, Nick is talking about this like he could do this, while he is, I assume, ironically using like a Shure broadcast mic, like the same one I'm using, except he's like holding it. I don't know why you're using a Shure, like that's a $300 microphone to use for like a bit. All right, so let's get into some of the things that Nickisnotgreen. I'm just gonna call him Nick because I can't stand saying that so many fucking times. So Nick, let's get into some of the points that Nick made in this video, albeit as shit as they are.
Brendan starts the set with this hilarious joke about how sexy the host is, utilizing his classic bit that I call, "Ha ha, gay funny." Even better, he tells this joke by reusing a joke straight from his special.
Okay, there's two things I want to address there. Second one, you're an idiot. First one, Brendan Schaub just released a special, and in 2022, and then he goes to the Improv and he's still using some of his old material. You probably shouldn't do that, but he doesn't have any material.
Is the point.
To use that as like an example of Brendan Schaub being bad at comedy is just, it shows how just nothing you know about comedy.
He's even used his material that he used from this year.
It's like, yes.
Correct.
Hang out and fuck each other. We'd like play video games all.
Also, he's like killing it. He's also like doing well. He's also doing well. It's just the YouTuber in the back that's recording and stealing his entire comedic set is the only one having a bad time. Like, Brendan Schaub's getting laughs. The reason he's using that joke is because it clearly works. Like, you showed footage of it working previously, and you showed footage of it working in his like most recent set. Should he stop using it? Yes, but if he doesn't have enough material, then no. Use a joke. Dude, Bert Kreischer has a joke that people literally beg him to say. It's called The Machine. Everyone's seen it. And to act like it's such a fucked up thing to like reuse a joke is such a cynical way to look at comedy.
Brendan then does this exact copy of a joke that he did in his special on YouTube about how much he hates lockdown with his kids and their demons, and his wife's a bitch, and you know how it goes. I would rather do anything else than be locked down with those fucking demons 24/7. I don't know why you would just take...
It is so easy to make Brendan Schaub look bad.
Utilizing his classic bit that I call, haha, gay funny. So how funny would that be if he had sex with a man? How funny is that? That's so funny. His first real...
It's like, yes, that's the joke.
That's the joke that you showed in the video laughing at.
I don't know what to say, man. Like, you're just a dick to get mad that like people are enjoying that kind of comedy. That's the whole thing with comedy, man. It's subjective. People like different things. People enjoy different things. People find something funny that other people might not. And to be like,
No one can find this funny, ever!
Okay.
Say no fucking crime is fucking getting lit in LA.
A normal thing that normal people say about crime, right? He explains that there's some...
It probably isn't, because you're at a comedy show. Like, what do you talk? What's your... Nick, talk to me, baby. Talk to me. Just you and me. Do you think you're at like a scholarly event, like a speech?
For intellectuals?
Like, what do you... A normal thing that normal people say. No, you're at a comedy show, man. You're the only one there that's angry. Like, it's so crazy to me to like go to a stand-up show maliciously. I'm gonna try my best not to show Brendan Schaub's comedy, like his jokes, so that, I mean, I'm a small YouTuber, but I understand you're not supposed to post a comedian's jokes on YouTube. I
get that.
What he does is he says that like Brendan Schaub just lied about a story, which he probably did. It's called making up a story. It's a joke because it's not a serious thing. Like, brother.
Now, I did some research and there's no Enrique that manages a Laurel Hardware.
That's brother.
You did some research on a joke.
Brother.
Now, I did some research on whether or not this joke was in fact true or not, and it turns out, no, it's not. It's a joke.
I'm like, this is a treat.
Let me try calling him right now.
Thank you for calling. This is... How can I help you?
Hi, I was just calling on behalf of a friend. I was wondering if you happen to have a manager at your restaurant named Enrique?
Not that I know of, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's totally fine. That's all I needed to know. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Oh. She's like, everyone keeps asking me if Enrique works here. Okay.
Dude, this kid's gotta be fucking around. They're not. No, she's blown away. Somebody's calling the place she works, asking for somebody they clearly don't know. She's uncomfortable with the fact that somebody just called blatantly not knowing a person and asking if they work there. Like, you were clearly fishing for something and she didn't know how to answer that. People aren't calling this store or restaurant or whatever the fuck it is asking for a guy named Enrique. You are without a doubt the first person to do that.
And they confirm that there's no Enrique that works there. Hey, maybe I'm missing something in the cracks of the story, but also maybe this just didn't happen.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
I do know that comedians change names for jokes all the time, but with Brendan Schaub's history and then what you'll see later in this set, he has the tendency to just completely make up stories that are easy to fact check. And usually you change names in a story.
Dude, why are you fact-checking jokes? What is wrong with you? Brendan Schaub's not good at comedy, so clearly when he does that, it's not good. But to fact-check Brendan Schaub? That's crazy that you said that and like didn't immediately laugh. You made this video making fun of yourself, right? Like there's no chance in hell you made this video to be like,
That good. I brought up a lot of good points. Comedy is saved. Brendan Schaub has been thwarted. That comedian that is notoriously disliked and nobody really enjoys it all. Got him.
dude. The whole point of stories is to like, there's real things that happen, then maybe you change a little bit of it. You can make things up again. Like the only one that's popped in my head is Anthony Jeselnik.
The other day I opened up the door, I caught him masturbating. He looks me right in the eyes and goes, "Shut the door." I said, "Get inside."
But there's a ton of comedians that just straight up make up weird premises in their head because like they're, oh, that'd be funny if that happened. Like this kid's never seen comedy, and the only time he's thought that he should expose the fact that he has seen a comedy show is the one where he stole their jokes and content to use for his own content. I really hope I'm hammering that home, how bad that is.
So we can't throw him in the comedy slammer for this one.
He says that like ironically, and I get it, because I also think that's a stupid thing to say, to be like, we can't throw him in the comedy slammer for this one. And I get it. Like that's an ironic thing to say. It's an obviously funny thing to say because it shouldn't be a thing. Like you shouldn't make rules for comedy and then say you're not allowed to make a joke for this. But like that's what he's actively trying to do. And then to say that, it's like you don't understand what you just said. Like you're just words are just coming out. Like you're making jokes that you don't even understand what you're saying. Like throw them in the comedy slammer. Like, well, we can't throw you in the comedy slammer. Like that's making fun of the fact that people would ever want to get people in trouble for jokes. Like that's what that saying, that joke comes from. Also, that joke you didn't make up. Like, you're just misusing it. This kid's so fucking dumb. Oh, I love it, though. I really do. I actually really enjoy this. This is awesome. Oh, dude. I'm having a great time. This is awesome. Fuck yeah, dude. And he, like, stitched this in later. Like, that's the cherry on top. The fact that he realized, like, later on when he was editing, he was like, hang on, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And he didn't understand it in the correct direction. Like, he was like, hang on, something's missing here. And so he just pulled open his iPhone and just recorded himself talking into his camera. And then just sewed it in and somehow made a shitty point way worse. Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah, Nick. I really like you. Like a lot.
Okay, but everyone settle in because this is Schaub's first big punchline. Enrique says that be careful. And here comes Schaub with the friggin' home run hitter. Here comes his joke.
Enjoy those dick pics, fellas. I don't have a bad dick pic.
The fact he's using footage where like the jokes are clearly working, it's not a big laugh, but like there's multiple people laughing, is kind of crazy. That he's like using this as like an example. Like he the build up to be like, oh, this really knocked it out of the park. Yeah, no, it like landed. The joke worked. Like the crowd laughed at it. And to be like that joke didn't, to just lie, to just flat out lie and say no, that didn't work. That joke didn't work. Where you heard people straight up laugh is crazy. And he gives a reason later on, I'm not going to give it away, as to why people are laughing at this comedy show. And dude, I'm telling you, it's one of the most narcissistic things I've ever heard in my freaking life.
So listen, guys, I know it's definitely illegal to put a clip from a private comedy show in my public YouTube.
So now Nick gets to the part where like, I don't think I'm going to go through this whole fucking video, man. Like, you kind of get the idea. He makes very bad points on comedy, and I don't really want this video to be 40 minutes long. I'm just showing you examples of how garbage his takes on comedy are. That's really my goal here, to be like, this dude did a very bad thing and doesn't realize it, and it's also very funny because he doesn't realize it. Like, he thinks he's hitting like slam dunks, like mic drops on Brendan Schaub, which again, not a difficult thing to do. You can just make fun of his published material. But instead what you did, because people have already done that, is you went to a place to steal his material that he's still working on. And it's very funny that you don't get that. That's very funny that you don't understand. Number one, that's wrong. And then number two, your points are bad. Like, that's ironically hilarious. Like, that's very funny.
That's a very, very funny thing you did on accident.
I will say that I hired a Brendan Schaub impersonator to stand on a makeshift improv stage in front of an audience that I hired to copy what he said to make it sound real. It's like when they recreate murder.
Like, that's... I understand he's joking because I recognize comedy and I'm not a fucking idiot. I guess I just don't get the point of this whole section. Because it's not a real disclaimer. It's a fake disclaimer. It's like a bit that he's doing. I think that's just what it is. It's just a bad joke. It's a bad joke acknowledging the fact that he did something wrong. Is that all it is? Because what a dick.
But instead it's with a mediocre comedian telling bad jokes to an audience that is too drunk to understand how unfunny the joke actually is.
Dude, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
There's no fucking way
that your reason for them laughing at his jokes are that you're just smarter than them. There's not a chance you're using that as a legitimate reason. That these fucking monkey people, that these idiots are laughing at the jokes is because they're drunk and your brain is just too dummy thick and big and smart that you understand that this comedy show isn't funny. Please comment below. Are we seeing the same shit? Like, he's just an egomaniac, right? Like, that is a full-blown hipster narcissist, right? Which feels redundant to say. Oh my god, dude.
So I definitely did not have voice memo on my phone on the table during Brendan's set.
You're still doing this bit?
Clips that you will be hearing during this video are completely fabricated and not true. And because I said that, Brendan cannot sue me or get me banned from the Improv in Los Angeles, California.
I don't think anything you just said was true. Like, I'm pretty sure he's doing a joke. Like, it feels like it, but he's also trying to cover his ass. It's a weird combo of the two. Like, yes, it's not very funny, which is why I'm like, are you just covering your ass? That's why I'm like, I assume it's a joke. Like, it seems like he's making an attempt at humor. First of all, at the gate, they can 100,000% and would be well within their right and should, frankly, ban you from ever attending another show there. You broke, like, the cardinal rule. Like, you can't go to a comedy show, and just steal their material, man. Like, I can't believe I have to say that. Like, you can't do that. Going through the rest of this video, you're really not missing much in terms of, like, things Nick has to say on comedy, because it's just Brendan Schaub's jokes are more or less the same every time. He makes a lot of jokes about how he's gay, makes a lot of jokes about Gavin Newsom and COVID and other current events. Just the same. Nick goes through every single joke that Brendan Schaub fucking says and acts like they're all supposed to be real.
Is he aware that just because we aren't required to wear masks indoors anymore, that doesn't mean that the pandemic itself is over? And funny enough, Brendan didn't actually lie about this. This was a real headline. He also seems to think that monkeypox is just another COVID variant because he says, I've had all 3 variants and I'm going for all 4.
But may I surprise you with the fact? That's not real either. OJ never sold a steak knife dinner set. But no. Brendan once again lies to the audience right to their face.
And that the crowd that is actively laughing hated the show and had a bad time.
They don't need all these tweezers.
And then the crowd erupted in laughter.
Dick, I'm not fucking wearing a fucking scarf because it's cold out.
Another classy home run hitter by Brendan Schaub.
Also, quick side note, Nick also does this thing throughout the entire video. Whenever there's a joke that he, like, disagrees with or thinks that you're not allowed to joke about it, he calls it classy, or sarcastically says it's tasteful.
They're classy home run hitter. And then he has a very tasteful joke. Very classy, Brendan.
Real simple point. It's like, why gatekeep comedy? Like, this kid has terminal YouTube brain. Like, he thinks that comedy shows should have guidelines like the internet, like YouTube or something like that. So it's kind of wild to watch. I'll leave the link to his video down below in my description. And yeah, that's basically the entire video, dude. Like, he just went to a comedy show with malicious intent just to upload all of the jokes to YouTube and dissect them individually for his 600K audience. Honestly, it was really funny. It was really funny watching how much Nick just, like, doesn't understand comedy. Like, that's funny to me. To see this YouTuber dissect jokes that he clearly just doesn't get because he has all these, like, false ideas of what comedy is supposed to be. Spoiler alert, it's an art form. It could be whatever the fuck people think is funny at the end of the day, which you would think you would understand as, like, a comedic YouTuber, but I don't know what this kid's, like, pet peeve is with, like, I think stand-up comedy at this point, because he has all these rules for, like, what it should and shouldn't be. But regardless, if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to comment and like down below. It truly helps out with throwing my shit into the YouTube algorithm. It would be nice if other people knew what this freaking kid did, because it's like, it's a very bad thing. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on the matter. I'll see you guys next time. Probably gonna start doing more gaming stuff again. I've been doing a lot of comedy lately. I've been enjoying it. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Otherwise, I will see you guys all next time. Bye.